bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me.
Nick, what is it about split cane that draws you to it?
For me personally, it comes from the fishing. You know, they're beautiful to look at, and a lot of people like that aspect of them. You know, they're like a wooden musical instrument, that sort of thing. But for me personally, it's the weight and the flex, the balance of those two properties that together create a natural cadence that makes for an easy casting style and natural presentation of a fly in fishing casting distances. So, you know, from the rod tip out to 30, 40 feet. You know, you can cast them further than that, but in that fishing range, just that natural flex and weight loads the rod up quickly and allows you to sort of cast accurately, you know, and delicately at fish.
Yeah. And what should people look for if they're buying their first split cane?
I'd tell them to look at the sort of fishing they're doing and, you know, and work back from there, you know. So if they're fishing a small stream, just look for you know, maybe a 4 or even a 3 weight, you know, larger streams up through the 5, 6 weight range. You know, consider a shorter rod than you would with graphite. So, you know, as low as 6.5 feet to maybe 7.5 feet, because bamboo's sort of better in those sort of lengths. And get your hands on as many rods as possible. You know, I would say just cast as many rods as you can and find the one that's right for you. People will tell you this is a good or a bad rod, but you're the only person that can make that decision.
Yeah, excellent. And what about when it comes to playing fish? A lot of people play fish. I mean, we've all probably put, in our early enthusiastic days, put sets in rods because we've hit fish too hard with a bamboo.
Yeah. For me, the rule of thumb is just don't get the rod too steep. You know, you want to keep the rod at a lower rod angle than you might be used to. Again, because of the natural flex, a low rod angle might break the tippet on a stiff rod, but with bamboo, you can have a relatively low rod angle and it'll still cushion the tippet. And the low rod angle means you're bending the whole rod, not just the tip. So if you keep the rod 45 degrees is my rule of thumb, can go a little higher or even a little lower, but lessening that rod angle will protect the rod. You can turn the rod upside down at various times to balance the stress on the rod on the top and bottom. You know, that's what some people recommend, but really it's that rod angle. And most critically, when the fish is at your feet, is the time to take care, you know, and try and draw the rod maybe back behind you rather than having it pointing straight up in the air. That's usually when things turn to custard, you know. So I grab the tippet of the line and sort of hand line the fish in for that last sort of part of the battle. I let all my fish go, so if I pop the odd fish at that point, I don't really care. Or a landing net, you know, can sort of help sort of manage the situation.
And as far as upkeep of bamboo goes, anything people should really note in terms of storage or just maintenance?
Yeah, I think storing them dry is a good idea, you know, with any rod really. So just air dry it in the bag, hanging it up, rather than just leaving it in the tube wet. Once it's fully dry, you know, you can put it back in the tube, but perhaps leave the cap unscrewed or even off. But you know, storing any rod wet, even a graphite rod, you know, can sort of damage it. So that's primarily the thing to do. Look over for any sort of damage on the rod, and if there's some fibres broken, you know, or split out, you know, which can happen if you hit it with a bead head or a hook point. Get someone to sort of glue it up and fix it. But just to rub over with some furniture wax or something once in a while is usually more than enough. Yeah.
Brilliant. Some great points there. And anything finally you'd like to say to anybody watching about bamboo?
Yeah, I just think just get one in your hands and fish with it, you know, particularly in those shorter 4 and 5 weight sort of rod length, you know, weights, and the 6.5, 7.5 foot length. Don't be scared to use them. If it breaks, it breaks. All rods can break, you know, so just use it as you would any other fishing rod.
They can always come back and buy another one off you.
Exactly, even better.
Nick Taransky, thanks for your 5 minutes. Cheers.
Thanks, Neil. Cheers.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.